So there is a lot that happened in boxing today regarding the WILLIAMZEPEDA versus Shakur Stevenson fight. So Oscar de la Hoya comes out and states that Shakur Stevenson dug WILLIAMZEPEDA because indeed Shakur Stevenson did pull out of the fight. So the whole boxing world thought that Shakur Stevenson dug WILLIAMZEPEDA until later on Shakur Stevenson came out and posted that Turki Al-Sheikh actually lowballed him, and Shakur also added that him and Turki already agreed on a number. So yes, he was gonna fight until Turki's servants actually went to Shakur and told him that they were gonna lowball him and that number that they agreed on was gonna be lower. Now I'm a little bit confused on all of this because I have a lot of things to say about this situation. And let me add that Shakur Stevenson was gonna make less than his last fight against Padley. He made $3 million against Padley. Now he was gonna make less money against Zepeda. Now that does not make sense at all. Until a few content creators actually said what I already kind of knew about Turki Al-Sheikh. Turki Al-Sheikh is rich, but he is not like mega $1 million rich. I believe he has like $40 or $50 million in the bank. And Riyadh season and the Fatal Fury event is separate. And the Prince is the one with the unlimited money, not Turki Al-Sheikh. So Riyadh season belongs to the Prince and the Fatal Fury event belongs to Turki. So yes, Turki cannot actually afford to pay these fighters these high wages like the Prince can, because it does not make any sense that Shakur Stevenson will pull out for being lowballed, because look how much Canelo is making. He's making $50 million and Terrence Crawford is making $50 million. Now that is $120 million combined just on the main event. And you know what they say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. So these numbers do not make any sense to me. How could they afford to pay these guys $120 million to split, but then lowball Shakur Stevenson? It doesn't make any sense until the news that they stated that Turki Al-Sheikh is the one that is actually throwing the Fatal Fury event and not the Prince. But I really think that Turki Al-Sheikh has other promoters that are helping him promote this event. And not just that, I am pretty sure that Turki knows a lot of powerful people, because who knows what kind of strings you gotta pull to close down Times Square and put a ring in the middle of the street and have a lot of the most famous stars in boxing. And not just that, 3 of the 4 kings fighting back to back. I wonder what kind of strings you gotta pull. I wonder how much you gotta pay, what kind of permit, because nobody can just put a ring in the middle of the street and the cops are gonna be okay with it. Might as well put a basketball game or a tennis game as well. But knowing all of this information, I was calling Shakur Stevenson a duck, but I really do not think so. I think it's the money issue, because it doesn't make any sense. Shakur Stevenson got $3 million to fight Padley, and he's getting less to fight Zepeda because Zepeda had a full camp and he is a very dangerous fighter, way more dangerous than Padley is. So yes, I do not blame Shakur Stevenson for pulling out of a dangerous fight like that against Zepeda for a little bit of money. I am pretty sure if the money was right, WILLIAMZEPEDA and Shakur Stevenson are gonna fight. Because later on, Shakur Stevenson tweeted that no matter what happened today, the fight will eventually get made. And he also did state something that did not make sense to me. He said that they try to lowball him because he wanted the Zepeda fight so much that he will take any amount of money. So yes, Mr. Turki Al-Sheikh may not have the amount of money to pay Shakur Stevenson what he wants to get paid, but the Prince does, and I'm pretty sure the Prince is gonna wanna watch that fight and they're gonna get those big purses. But I ain't tripping, Mr. Turki Al-Sheikh is giving us a lot of big fights. I can still wait for that one. Now, I see this fight playing 2 different ways. If Shakur Stevenson comes in with brittle hands, I have Zepeda stopping Shakur. But if Shakur Stevenson comes in at 100%, I actually have Shakur Stevenson TKOing Zepeda. Now, I like both of these fighters and I'm a fan of both, but I do know styles make fights. and WILLIAMZEPEDA is tailor-made for Shakur Stevenson's style. Now, WILLIAMZEPEDA throws punches and bunches, and guess what? Shakur Stevenson is one of the best counterpunchers, if not the best counterpunchers. And the more punches that WILLIAMZEPEDA throws, the more chances that Shakur Stevenson is gonna counterpunch him. And we all think that Shakur Stevenson is a boring fighter, but I really do not think so. I think he only waits for his opponent to attack first. But if you attack him first, he will fight you. But nobody wants to attack him first because they know they're gonna get counterpunched, because Shakur Stevenson is one of the best defensive fighters that there is. And all of Shakur Stevenson's opponents know this, so they choose just to go 12 rounds with Shakur Stevenson instead of getting embarrassed and them attacking first. So this makes Shakur Stevenson's fights very boring, because Shakur Stevenson is not gonna attack and his opponent is not gonna attack either for not being embarrassed, because they're scared to get counterattack every time they punch. Just ask Oscar Valdez. But guess what, champs? I ain't the biggest, I'm the baddest. And if you want to hop on your boy, throw $1 at the super thanks. I gotta roll. Peace.